Welcome to the Investment Property Show. I'm Wyatt Giles.
Aloha, I'm Tony Amiglio.
Hey Tony, we have a fun show ahead of us.
An exciting one.
Lots of questions out there right now about the investment property realm.
Whether it be a short-term rental,
A vacation rental.
or even a midterm rental.
What is a midterm rental?
I have no idea.
Neither do I, but we're going to find out here pretty soon. Now, other people are out there going, well, I'm interested. How do I get started? What's one of the biggest questions they have out there?
Biggest question is, can I afford it?
Can I afford it?
Of course you can, whether you're going to use your money or other people's money.
And then there's management. Do you want to manage a hotel vacation rental?
I don't like the details of it.
But you know what? We have someone who's going to answer all those questions for us. Some people out there do want to manage, so we're going to answer those questions as well. But do you want to decorate and or clean that house?
I'm horrible at both.
Both? I'm not good either. But some people out there, again, want to save money, so we're going to teach you about that. And one of the largest questions of them all is,
how do I find one?
And where do I find one?
Yes, sir.
And thankfully, we have some of the best professionals in the Austin area. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Investment Property Show. Tony, we've gotten to see some really cool houses.
Amazing.
I'm really learning a lot. This investment property is the new boom thing. And so we're here in Dripping Springs today, and we have another professional with us.
Heather Jones, she actually lives here in Dripping Springs and she's a realtor. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Heather?
Yeah, my name's Heather Jones. I've lived in the Dripping Springs area for over 20 years. And I've been out here and seen the community grow a ton.
So you're a realtor here. You actually have, you've raised your family here.
I have.
So tell us a little bit about your family.
I have 3 kids. I've been married to my husband 22 years, and my kids have grown up in this community.
So you know a little bit about the school districts, you know, where all the fun places to go for both adults and children.
Absolutely.
So if somebody is looking for a house in the Dripping Springs area, you can most certainly check them through.
Yeah, Dripping Springs, Austin, all around, all those areas.
So you're not just a realtor though, you're also, you do staging as well. So that's something that has kind of helped you out a little bit in this market as well.
Yes, so I provide staging as a complimentary service to all of my listings. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that translates, my clients come in and they go, wow, this looks so great, maybe we don't want to sell. And I say, oh no, we're selling. But then I will help them on the flip side. Once they get into their new homes, even their investment properties, I'll come in and I can give them some tips and help them make their listings or their home kind of stand out.
What kind of got you into doing some investment properties? Because you're fantastic at real estate all over Austin, but there was kind of a need here, specifically in Dripping, all over Austin, but in Dripping is what kind of got you started. What is it exactly that draws everybody to Dripping Springs and got you started in this?
Yeah, so what really has drawn people to Dripping Springs is the close-knit community, the school district, and it's actually the wedding capital of Texas.
I did not know
that.
Well, I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So that's what makes Dripping Springs a great place for investment.
So there's also a lot of other fun things to do around here. So there's a lot of, I guess, wineries.
Yeah,
breweries?
There's breweries,
Yes.
wineries. We've got a ton of swimming holes here locally, some that are, kind of on the map that people look for, and some that are kind of known to locals that we kind of keep on the
down low?
hush, yeah,
Okay.
on the hush hush.
And maybe if you stay at one of your vacation rentals, that you might give them the insight of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure, absolutely.
And I didn't know Dripping Springs is actually the day drinking capital of...
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay, now I'm kind of drawn back a little bit. Okay, so...
But we need to change that, and you need to stay
And that's-
at a vacation rental.
that's why you come here.
Drink here, stay here, rather than drink and leave,
Makes sense. So other than that, though, the other draws to here is just family and community.
Absolutely.
And you've raised your family here.
I have.
And you would suggest that for anybody else who just wants to buy a house.
Oh yeah, for sure. This has been a great place. My husband and I, you kind of meet people when your kids are little, but they've kind of grown into family. And so yeah, we've got a wonderful community. I've got amazing neighbors. So our experience has been really positive.
Well, the one thing that I kind of know would probably be a benefit, especially for if you're buying a house or a vacation rental. Tell us a little bit about your staging background and how that actually helps, and how you can help other people with their vacation rentals or their homes that they buy.
Yeah. So staged homes actually sell for more money statistically, and it also helps your home stand out. So I always tell people you have to sell your home 3 times. We have to sell it online first, then we have to sell it to the people when they walk through the door, and then we have to sell it for appraisal. Staging helps with all 3 of those. If your house doesn't look good in photographs, no one's going to show up to look at it. Pricing obviously plays into that. And the same thing is true with your vacation rental. If you don't have amazing photos, it's not staged well, it doesn't look great, people are going to go, next. How many times do you scroll through and you look at stuff and you go, I don't want to stay there because it's got grandma's bedding from 1980 instead of stuff that looks sharp and great and looks like a fun place to stay.
Well, we are in the swipe left, part of life. That's what everybody looks online, right?
Ooh, that should be a new thing. Like
No,
vacation rental, swipe right or swipe left. Yeah.
I think I might want to date
We
that
can
way.
turn. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a good idea. Don't y'all trademark that. Yeah. First, it's ours. Can we edit that out? No, I think.
Yeah.
So,
we may come up with another
it
business
could've been.
opportunity.
We're gonna
Here
be
we go.
millionaires. All right, this is great. So tell us a little bit about this house that we're in, and kind of take us through some of the creative things y'all had to do to kind of come in for a budget, make it friendly to everyone, where people want to come back, because that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
They stay and then they want to come back and tell their friends.
Absolutely. So this is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home located really in the heart of Dripping Springs. It's within walking distance to Mercer Street, which is kind of the place to be. There's great shopping. There's a couple little bars and tasting rooms downtown. That's super fun. But the biggest thing is there's Founders Weekend. It's when the city shuts down. It's actually how I met Tony.
That's how we met.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say it's a party for 3 days, but the kids are out there, the community, and it's really what people are drawn to. People come to Founders and they're like, this is where I want to be.
That's awesome.
So this is walking distance to that. This property has been fully renovated. It does have kind of a cottage in the back. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, kind of little cottage. So when my broker purchased this is his property. That was a draw to him that he had 2 places that he could rent out. So you can rent it all out at once, or you can rent them individually.
Individually. So that's going to be another important thing. So out here, and that's something you can help with, because there's zoning, there's restrictions, but you can have a house on property that you think might be a good vacation rental, but you can also build an addition to the background.
Correct.
Is that tough to find, and that's why someone like you is needed, because you can help them navigate through that.
Yeah. So the benefit of having something out here is a lot of. We do have the master plan communities, but there's a lot of communities that have land. There's also a lot of unrestricted land.
Okay.
And so you see people buying properties and they'll put a main building on it, and then they'll build 2 or 3, 4, 5 little rentals that they can
Little ADUs.
Yeah.
Right.
So it really just comes down to figuring out, are we in the ETJ? Are we in city limits? Are there restrictions? Are there neighborhood covenants? And so that's kind of where I can step in and do some of that legwork on the front end.
And so out here in Dripping Springs, like for instance right here, do you know what occupancy levels or percentages are out here? Like how often it's rented? Is it 50% of the year, 70% of the year?
So the back unit, so this is actually, we're still in the process of getting this unit ready to rent.
Okay.
But the back unit, he put it on in June, and it's been rented almost, I believe, close to 90% of the time.
Wow.
With summer.
That's a great return. That's a great return. And we'll talk a little bit once break what that looks like as far as the financials go. But again, so right now, if somebody wanted to buy a house, is this still a good time to buy it? We hear in the market right now that it's dipping or that the percentages or interest
The
rates
rates.
rather are up. This is a good time to buy a house still, or even for investment or for personal, correct?
It's always a good time to buy.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, where else are you going to make the amount of money that you make? Even if it slows down and you're making 5 to 6%, which is what historically Texas has made over
Right.
the last
On the
30
equity,
years.
right. Right.
So yes, are you going to maybe make 20% in a year? No, that was historically, and I don't think any
It
of
was
us,
crazy.
none of us want to go back to a pandemic that drove that, right?
No.
So, but to have 5 or 6%, and then you've got someone paying the mortgage for you.
Right.
You've got a long-term gain.
Right.
I think really the biggest thing is to make sure that whatever you buy, you're going to have a multi-purpose for.
Sure.
The income is going to be important, and the long-term investment gain is important. But how can you use that? Is
Right.
this a place that you can give to family? Is this a place that a kid could live in? Is this a place that your parents could move into eventually someday?
Sure.
Have multi-purpose in what you're investing in.
So what I'm hearing is that right now, if you buy, you're going to lock it down at this price. Well, the only thing that's going to go up is price of the house. The interest rate can go down. You can refinance it after it goes down.
Refinance after 6
Correct.
months, correct.
And so,
Correct.
So if you don't buy this year, it's going to be more expensive next year.
Right. You're
Well,
guaranteed that your payment at least isn't going up,
Right.
at least principal and interest, right?
Right.
But historically, home prices have gone up.
Have gone up.
So you wait,
Right.
those are just going to go up.
Well, even in 08, I mean, they went down, but within 2 years, they popped up above and beyond where they're at.
Correct.
And people were making money on them again. So,
Correct.
well, I'd like for you, if you wouldn't mind, if you can walk us around this house and show us a little bit about what you've done, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Let's go.
So when looking at a rental, having functional space is important. This rental offers exactly that. It has a large open living room that flows into the kitchen, which makes conversation really easy. You can have people sitting at the table, you can have people in the living room, and they can be interacting together. We have open shelving, which makes it easy for people to grab what they need when they're cooking in a kitchen where they don't know where stuff really is. I also love incorporating fun things for your guests to leave a little token of themselves behind. In this house, we have a space where people can leave their wine corks or their beer tops. They can write their location, their names, and the date they stayed. Other guests can come back in and look and see where visitors have traveled from. In here, we have another bedroom. It's a great space for people to come and hang out, and we have access to the back patio. One thing to consider in a rental is lighting. It's really important for people to be able to turn on a light in a space that they're not familiar with in the middle of the night. Another thing to consider is having USB ports. A lot of people are charging their cell phones or their smartwatches. It's great if they can just plug the USB port directly into a lamp. In this bedroom, we have a themed room. We have the horse room. Since we are in the Texas Hill Country, this is a great space to kind of showcase maybe something that you love. So bedding is really important in a rental. You want your guests to feel like they have woken up in a luxurious resort. So have multiple pieces of bedding that you can change out quickly, and don't be afraid to add pops of color and something fun to each space. In here, again, we have chosen a really fun theme that's light and airy and space for guests to put their belongings. So another really fun way to add character and charm to your rental is peel and stick wallpaper. It doesn't damage the walls, it goes on easy, it comes off quickly, you can change it out, and it just adds a fun element to your rentals.
Wow, that's honestly, y'all done a lot with the space.
Amazing.
It's not humongous,
Yeah.
but you can sleep quite a bit. And with the house in the back, it's kind of nice because you can put the kids in here, and you can go sleep in back, or vice versa. Or if you don't like someone, they snore, they can go in the back.
Right.
There you
Perfect
go.
little spot.
And I love what she did with the cork.
And you were saying that you had some more information of other fun things you can do. Because you're running a business, you want people to come back. What are some of the other ideas that you had?
Absolutely. You want your rental to stand out. You want it to be a fun space. You want it to be memorable. I mean, people are on vacation to make memories. They're visiting for an event. And so, yeah, I was talking to someone the other day, and they had a wonderful idea that every one of their rentals, the point is that you're going to build a portfolio, right? You're not just going to have one. And so she said that she puts in a record player in each one of her rentals with records of genres of music that she loves, and she invites her guests to sit back, enjoy the music, kick up their feet, and just have a great time. And so you can come up with something with that, that maybe it's not a record player for you, but maybe it's something else that you really love, and you want your guests to enjoy what you enjoy.
And you don't need Wi-Fi for a record player, right? Is that right? No Wi-Fi.
No, but the new record players are Bluetooth. So
they
if
do?
maybe,
Smart record players.
They're smart record players,
Smart record
exactly.
players?
So maybe if you don't like the genre, you can just pretend that you're using the record player and play, some Tupac. I don't know.
Tupac? Hey, I like me some Tupac.
Tupac on vinyl?
Today.
So this owner here, his theme is it the ranch or the horses, or what was his theme?
Yeah, so he has the horse theme rooms.
Okay.
So that's another thing you can do. You can come up with different themes for different rooms. It makes it a fun space for your visitors to enjoy. So yeah, so he has a little bit of a little bit of a kind of modern Western vibe going on in here, which I think is memorable and fun, especially being in the hill country.
And so I see a lot here, and you talk a lot about how do you make a house usable for a short-term rental?
Yeah, so that's really important. Being able to have a functional space, looking at the flow of a room, also incorporating, having nice linens. No one wants to wake up and be like, oh, my face, I slept on sandpaper last night, right? So it's important, and you also have to have multiple sets because you're going to be doing a quick turnaround. Sure. Most people check out at 11 and they're checking in by 3. So you're going to need, several pieces of good bedding. It needs to be washed, so you gotta factor that in. And
wash.
having
Wash. You have to wash the sheets.
High linen count.
Okay.
High thread count.
High thread count.
Too.
High thread count.
Right.
But making sure you have good beds. I mean, no one wants to feel like they slept on the floor last night.
Right.
Another thing that you can do to add additional sleeping is do have a hide-a-bed. That if someone wants to throw.
So are we sitting on a hide-a-bed right here?
I don't think you are, but. But it's a great idea to add extra bedding, especially for a teenager.
Sure.
My son, being the only boy in the family, normally gets the hide-a-bed. The girls get their beds, and then we're like, sorry, dude, you get the couch. So he appreciates a good hide-a-bed.
And another thing that you were talking about how important it is, a kitchen. When you're going traveling, some people like to cook. Some people are just here, just like a hotel. But it's important that they have things they can utilize within the kitchen. You were talking about that.
Absolutely. So. For me, we actually have several food allergies in our family. And it's kind of one of those things that if you don't have them, you don't really think about them. But you always want to anticipate what your guests might need. And so think about when you go somewhere and you're like, oh man, they don't have that. Have an Instant Pot. Have an air fryer. Those are big things right now, right? They do take up space. But they're also a really great extra for people to just feel like you went the extra mile for them to make their life easy, right? And life can't get more simple than an Instant Pot or an air fryer. But really, to me, it's like have a really good coffee maker. And another way that you can kind of give a signature kind of nod to the area where you're at is, if there's a great local coffee shop that you want to share with your visitors, leave them a little bit of coffee, or the coffee pods. If you have a Keurig or a single coffee maker, leave the coffee for them to enjoy the first day or two. Just make people feel special. That's really what they want. They want to know that they're seen, that they're heard, and that you want to welcome them into your space.
So basically, if you're going to somebody's house or a vacation rental, what would you want to see?
Well, I want you to.
I hear coffee.
I
heard
coffee. I want a latte every
latte.
morning.
Wine.
So you get wine.
So that's another thing. We live in the hill country. We have amazing breweries. We have amazing vineyards out here. Leave a bottle of wine or a 6-pack in the fridge, or even a Lone Star. I've checked into.
Or just water. Water's not expensive. Just the fact that you have bottled
just
water.
you got water in the fridge, yeah, a Gatorade or two for the kids,
Right.
just something to greet your visitors with, and just let them know that you're special.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense because
Yeah.
some people forget. I'm going to just invest this money. I'm going to make a lot of money, and because everything they read it, there's actually some work to it and some thought to it. So now they don't have to do all this by themselves. That's something that you'll help them do as far as pointers, and you can look at the space and go through the space and show them how to utilize it and get the best use out of that space. That's your specialty.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will come in, just kind of like in here, we walk the space, we look at how it flows from the front door to the kitchen. I actually, one of my suggestions, Tony and I were talking about this earlier, was in the kitchen. It hasn't been done yet because this is still under construction.
Sure.
But was to put in a banquette, a seating, and then put a round table because you can fit a lot of people at it. Most of your rentals, or at least how we vacation with friends. We have a group of people. So playing cards. Think about the space and how it's going to be used.
Sure.
And so you can look at a bedroom and you can go, well, we could fit a king bed in here, but does the layout allow for a bunk space where you could fit 6 kids? That's a really big, important thing.
Right.
Sometimes, you could sleep 6 people or you could sleep 10. And it makes it a multi-family rental or a single family rental or a bachelor pad, for the weekend or a, bridal party getaway. So you need to think about how you're going to sleep people and just look at a space and walk around. So I can definitely help my clients look at that and kind of find the best use of space.
So that makes sense. The more beds, the more opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
You have more clients. The pool of clients is bigger that way. Yeah.
More
Absolutely.
revenue.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just got back from a vacation. We went with 3 other couples. First off,
How'd that work out, by the way? Should we say it on the air?
Oh, it was amazing.
Okay.
It was absolutely.
Okay, I just want to make sure that it wasn't one of those horrors. It was great.
No, this is our 4th or 5th trip with these couples.
Okay.
But it also makes, when you have a space that you can split with other people, it makes it affordable.
Okay.
It can make a property, when you were looking at it for yourselves, you're like, well, that's too big, but that's like such a dream house.
Sure.
But when you can split it and you can sleep 20 people, this doesn't sleep 20 people, but you can look at different, a thing to consider too is what is your market? Do you want to be going
posh, have a posh place that people maybe want to come, for a wedding, or are you trying to give it to families and
correct? Yeah. So you can really kind of drive your audience a little bit in who you want to cater to.
So you can do posh too, though. So we talked a little bit about what you've done is on a budget level, but you also like the high-end decorating and things as well. So that's your forte as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can look at who do you want to cater to as far as, do you want a higher-end client? You're really going to want those high-end finishes. It doesn't mean that you have to go and spend a ton of money attaining those things.
Sure.
It can come down to having the really nice linens, but also just you'll notice in all of the bedrooms as we walk through, they have throw blankets and just things that make it feel like you're at home and you're cozy. You can do that in any level of home, but yes, you can go for the higher end properties where you add a pool and a hot tub and different features to really draw in different clients.
Just depends on what you want.
Depends on your budget.
Depends on your budget.
Yeah.
So so it sounds like somebody, if they're going to start this process, need to sit down with you. And so I have a question for both of y'all real quick.
Sure.
So if I'm going to sit down and I'm interested in doing a short-term rental, vacation rental, mid-term rental, whatever that investment property is going to be, what do I need to start to get prepared for? What is it that I need to do as far as finances go? Do I need to what's it going to take? As far as an investment property, you have to do a conventional loan, right?
Sure. Well, Heather does a great job at that, especially with her clients. The first step is actually, getting prepared for financing. So that puts you in the budget, and then that's where I kind of step in on the financing side, on the loan side, and then from there I cater it as far as what type of loan they have, what their budgets are, what their down payments are.
Okay, and let me ask it again, both of y'all. So if I had enough money, there's some people out there that do. I want to meet them because I don't necessarily have it, but they have enough money to buy a house in total, or have enough to put more than one down payment, right? So if instead of putting all that down payment down on a house, why don't you get 2 houses? And is that a good idea, and why?
Absolutely. So, most people are not going to become rich or wealthy on one short-term
property,
rental. you're going to want to build a portfolio.
Okay.
And so, yeah, if you've got a larger lump sum of money, or your goal is this next year or these next 2 years, I want to invest in 3 different properties.
Sure.
This is where I work closely with my local lender, and I say, let's talk to them, let's get a game plan in place, and then we can start looking, and we can really look, and really your budget's going to determine kind of your area of where you want to be. We're going to look at the up and coming areas of where you want to be for those rentals. And then, yes, the idea would be to take this money, put the minimum down payment on that, and so you can get several properties.
Yeah, so stemming off minimum down payments on an investment property, some people have the stigma that it is only at 20%. But you can go as little as 3.5% and then all the way up to 20 to 25%. It just depends on what type of loan and how it's structured. So again, we can structure the loan specifically for your needs. And I work with Heather, I work with a number of realtors in the investment space for that.
And another thing that we've kind of talked and we've learned, but to inform everybody, is that you can also, if you get 2 houses, right, you put 2 down payments down, and when you're saying 90% occupancy, you're gonna get your money back pretty quickly.
Cash on cash, yeah.
And then you can refinance it and then get your initial and down payment back, and then do 2 more.
Rinse and repeat.
Right.
And again, that's something that you can help them out. So to start off this process, they just need to sit down with you.
Yep.
And you're going to go through and ask some questions and see how involved they want to be. Should they manage the property themselves? Should they get management?
Right.
And can you help them out with that as well?
Yes. So I normally like my clients to shop around a little bit. That's a really big question, and it really ties into other. There's bigger questions to that.
Okay.
Are they getting these? It comes down to tax write-offs. That's where
Right.
that's where you really need, when you start
Savvy.
getting into this.
Yes.
You really need to have a good team of people around
Yes.
you
Okay.
in order to be successful.
Okay.
Really, for me, the first step is, let me sit down. Let me meet with you. Let's talk about your goals. Your kind of what your budget is, and kind of the area of town you want to be in. I do a buyer consult with every single one of my buyers. I treat you to coffee.
You like coffee.
I do love coffee.
like coffee
it's a main
too, though.
staple. I mean, that's how Tony and I we met over coffee too. He likes
Yeah.
coffee.
Well,
Yeah.
Who doesn't like? Well,
You don't?
depends. Well, I do.
Okay.
I do.
There
I
are
do.
people who don't like coffee.
I just can't have too much of it. But I do like coffee though.
I could drink it all day long.
All day long.
Black.
Black. No cream whatsoever.
Black coffee. Kind
Black
of.
kind of coffee. Okay.
Serious. I'm a real coffee
A
drinker.
realist.
I don't mess
No
around
sugar,
with that.
nothing like that.
Well, I tell you
No,
what,
nothing.
I've had an absolute blast getting to see this property, getting to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and so it's finally good to meet you in person. And looking forward to learning more from you.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for taking this wonderful property. Thank you all for tuning in and checking us out. Please check in next week. We have even more information. We'll see you next time.